Alrighty. Hello guys, it is Fig here, and today I'll be doing what if Naruto was raised by Jiraiya and Tsunade. I haven't uploaded a lot because people aren't really watching my what ifs, so I don't feel a need to put them out real quickly. But I'll record the next part of this what if as soon as I hit 5 likes. Well, yes, I know that's not very high, so hopefully you can hit it. Link to fanfiction will be listed in the description. That's all I have to say, so let us get started. Son of the Sanin by Arias. Naruto lost his parents the night of his birth due to the QB escaping. But fortunately, Jiraiya and Tsunade are willing to take care of him in their place. Watch how his life unfolds while being raised by Sanin, and how such actions will change not only Naruto's lives, but the lives of those around them. Flight Alternate Universe. 133 chapters! Let's go! Chapter 1: An Unconventional Family. Jiraiya stood in front of the gates of Konoha, contemplating the place that it had been um, contemplating the place that it had been his home for a long time. That's it. Until Orochimaru's betrayal and Tsunade's self-imposed exile made it unbearable for his Toad Sage to continue living there. He had never had a permanent home from that moment onward, hopping from one town to another doing his, quote, research, and having one-night stands with beautiful and easy-to-charm women. He only returned sporadically to pay a visit to his student and friend Minato Namikaze. Give me a second. Let me open my window because I'm cold. All right. It has been 3 months since the latest and now last of those visits. They talked about Jiraiya's failed book, The Tale of a Gutsy Ninja, and how Minato wanted to name his firstborn son after the main character of said book, Naruto. In the meantime, Jiraiya wrote his first erotic novel, The Icha Icha Paradise. It became a bestseller in no time, engorging his already large bank account. He had already been planning to drop by but had already been planning to drop by once the kid was born in order to give the newborn a nice gift. In fact, he was on his way to Konoha when a courier ninja arrived and told him about the tragic news, and that his presence was required in the village. Upon reading the letter with all the details, at first he thought it was some sort of tasteless joke, but the letter he was carrying had the stamp of the Hokage's office. And now, just as he stood in front of the gates, he realized it wasn't a joke, and he secretly had hoped. Realized it wasn't a joke as he had secretly hoped. Even from the outside, Jiraiya could tell that Konoha had been the victim of a devastating attack recently, which was confirmed the moment the Toad Sage walked into the village. The, the streets were nearly empty, destroyed buildings left and right, trails of smoke coming everywhere. The gray sky appeared to reflect the somber and depressing mood the village seemed to be in. Jiraiya hurried toward the Hokage's tower. Hiruzen Sarutobi was in his former, soon to be his once again office, as he absent-mindedly looked through the window, lamenting the current state Konoha was in. An envoy appeared behind him. Hokage-sama, Jiraiya-sama is here as you requested, the envoy announced. The third Hokage turned round and sighed. Tell him to come in, please. As you say, the envoy said before disappearing in a cloud of smoke. A few seconds later, the white-haired Saiyan walked into the office. Hiruzen couldn't help but smile upon seeing his old student. Let me turn on the nightlight. My eyes hurt. Ouch. Okay. Ow, my eyes hurt again. Hello, Jiraiya. It's good to see you again, even if it's under such awful circumstances. How was your trip here? Hiruzen said as he sat down on his chair. Not to be rude, but that matters very little now. Is that true? It's true? Is true that Sensei, are Minato and Kushina really dead? Jiraiya asked, trying to suppress the anguish in his voice. Yes. Jiraiya averted Sarutobi's gaze, sighed, and whispered a profanity. He looked at his former sensei once again and asked, May I see the bodies? You may, but not now. There are urgent matters we must attend first before you pay your respects to your student and his wife. Hiruzen had gravely said, Matters that concern their son. Their son? Where is Naruto now? Is he okay? Jiraiya asked worriedly. 1 second, be right back. Alrighty, I am back and we can continue what if. I'm set up on my desk instead of my bed, so this is so much better. Naruto is fine. He's possibly one of the few people who came out of this unscathed, Hiruzen said. I don't know if I'd be calling a demon sealed inside him unscathed, Sensei, Jiraiya pointed out, not to mention that this kid just lost his parents. True. Excuse my lack of tact. And to answer your first question, he's downstairs on the lower floor. A couple medical ninjas are taking care of him. Now, Naruto is the reason I called you here. Because I'm his godfather? Exactly. According to Minato and Kushina as well, they left everything to Naruto. All their physical assets, such as their house and other properties, as well as their liquid assets, which will be managed by his legal guardian until Naruto comes of age. And according to their will, this person is you. I see. An uncomfortable silence followed Jiraiya's iconic answer. So, do I suppose you're up to become Naruto's legal guardian and raise him until he's 18? Regardless of Minato's will, we can assign another legal guardian if he refused. Jiraiya found the offer tempting. He had decided a long time ago that he would never settle down, that he would throw himself to the pleasures of life, to wander the world and enjoy it as much as possible. Taking care of a baby would make such thing impossible. He'd need to stay at a permanent place, more than likely Konoha, since neither Sensei nor the elders would allow the Kyuubi out of the village, for other nations to take it, and had to prioritize Naruto's need and well-being over everything else. No, the perspective of becoming a single father was everything but alluring. But then again, if he didn't take care of Naruto, who will? Almost nobody in the village would want to be near Naruto after the Kyuubi's rampage out of fear. And he knew that other people would try to turn him into a weapon, depriving him of a normal childhood. No, he had a moral responsibility toward Naruto. Nobody else would want to take care of Naruto and raise him like a normal child but him. Jiraiya soon would learn how wrong he was. He was about to give his sensei an answer when the shouts from outside the office drew both men's attention. Miss, I'm sorry, but Hokage-sama is in a meeting. You can't disturb him now, a male voice said, which Jiraiya vaguely recognized as Yambu he had been talking to. Who do you think I am? I'm sure that sensei will make time for one of his old students, a female's voice angrily replied, a voice Jiraiya knew too well. Oh my, I didn't expect her to come here so soon, or to come at all, Sarutobi said, visibly worried. What is she doing here? Jiraiya asked, equally worried. You see, Hokage-sama's guest is also another one of his old students, and what? Get out of my way! Boom. Boom! Jiraiya and Sarutobi winced as they both hoped that the poor Anbu wasn't too hurt. The office door slammed open. Oh, they had incorrect grammar here. They said slammer open, but I think they mean slammed open. The office door slammed open, and a big-breasted blonde burst in. Bruh. She fixed her eyes on Jiraiya and snarled. She then looked at Sarutobi with rage in her eyes. Oh, Kami, I knew it! You're going to do it! Tsunade, harming my Anbu and breaking into my office like that is not an appropriate thing to do, Hiruzen said calmly. Oh, Kenneth-sensei? I came here to stop you from making a huge mistake, Tsunade said angrily. And what mistake would that be? Leaving a child under care of this maniac, Tsunade said, pointing at Jiraiya. I'm fine, Tsunade. Hi, thanks for asking, the Toad Sage said in a deadpan voice, earning another glare from his former teammate. I see. I suppose that you have a better candidate in mind? Sarutobi asked, intrigued. You're damn right. I myself would make much better caretaker than the smudge writer. That's fine, but you don't have any legal basis for claiming Naruto's guardianship. I'm his godfather, and Minato left Naruto under my care, should something happen to him and Kushina. Jiraiya retorted. Yes, I have. Naruto's my family. Yes, sure, and I am the grandnephew of the Sage of Six Paths. It's true, you moron. Kushina was an Uzumaki just like Mito, my grandmother. I am Naruto's only family, and thus I have a greater claim to be his guardian. While I admit I'm no expert when it comes to parenthood, I'm pretty sure taking care of a baby costs money. Lots and lots of money. And last time I checked, you were hounded by quite a few creditors, I believe. I'm not too sure. I'm aware that Minato had quite some money on his bank account. I can use that to cover Naruto's expenses. Yeah, if you don't blow it up on the casino again, Jiraiya angrily said, as he turned to his former master. Sensei, you can't seriously leave Naruto under this compulsive gambler? I do have experience raising children. I've been raising Shizune since she was a little girl, and she turned out fine, Tsunade said before Sarutobi could answer. Even with my flaws, there's no way I can be worse than Jiraiya. Alright, I heard enough, Hiruzen said, raising his voice and slamming his head onto his desk to make his former student shut up. Both of you have good points, and I'm sure we can reach a compromise. What kind of compromise? Asked Tsunade. Shared custody? Not exactly. It's obvious that you want what's best for Naruto, so why don't you race him together? You can cover each other's weaknesses. I'm sure Naruto will benefit better I'm sure Naruto will benefit better if he has both of you taking care of him instead of just one of you. But that means we'll have to live together, Jiraiya said. He didn't like where this was going. Yes, of course. But we're not a couple. What the hell are we supposed to do? Pretend that we're a happy marriage for Naruto's sake? Tsunade protested. You don't have to pretend anything. If it puts your mind at ease, think about each other as being roommates with a couple common interests, or teammates fulfilling a long-term mission. Hiruzen said, hoping that his solution would appease both Sanin. I don't know if this little meeting didn't make it obvious enough, but Tsunade, Haim, and I aren't exactly on friendly terms. Jiraiya mentioned. Yeah, I saw, but there was a time in which you take a kunai to the gut for the other. I have faith that you'll mend your relationship. At least for Naruto's sake, Tortobi said. It's not that easy, Sensei, Tsunade said. Hiruzen sighed heavily. I never said it was easy. Listen, I've been aware of your lives. I've been aware of the lives you have been living after you left Konoha, and frankly, you had me worried. From what I could see, all what you did was to run away from your personal demons, indulging in superficial pleasures for such shallow comfort. But I can tell that neither of you have been happy, regardless of how much you might try to deny it. We all have lost somebody dear to us. I myself have lost my beloved wife and old friends to the QB a long time ago. Yet here I am, taking the mantle of Hokage once again. I'm not saying that we're all the same or that you shouldn't deal with grief. How long it has been, or you shouldn't deal with the grief. But how long has it been since you both left? 6 years, maybe more. I think it's about time you two start to move on. You can think of this as an opportunity, a new, fresh start, a chance to do something great. Don't you think it's about time to stop wandering around the world, aimlessly wasting your lives in vain pleasures, and start doing something productive with your lives again? Both of you will want to take care of Naruto. If that's the case, show me that you're worth him. Show me that you're able to not let your demons get in the way of rekindling your friendship. Sorry. Show me that you have that you're. Show me that the great and powerful Sanin, the ninjas I helped to shape, are still there, instead of gambler and a pervert before me. A deafening silence followed Sarutobi's speech. Both Sanin wanted to reply, but they were left unable to. They couldn't find the right word. Any words. They glanced at each other, hoping that one would have the clever reply that would get them out of admitting their sensei was right. But there was none. Jiraiya sighed in defeat. There's no way out of here, okay? I'm willing to raid Naruto together. What do you say, Haim? Soon, I'm not sure if it's Haim or Hime. Let me know in the comments if it's Haim or Hime. Tsunade had calmed down a bit and looked as pensive as Jiraiya. Alright, if this is what I have to do so I can be with my only family, but don't you dare get any ideas. Understood? Tsunade said, pointing an accusatory finger at him. Jiraiya raised his hand in defense. Hey, I didn't say anything. And you'll see that I can be a perfect gentleman. You better be. Then it's settled, Sarutobi said, visibly satisfied as he stood up from his desk. Now, would you like to see Naruto? They didn't need an answer. Sarutobi guided his two former students to the room on the lower floor, in which a teen girl was being instructed by one of the medic ninjas how to hold a baby Naruto. At the girl's feet there was a small pig wearing a maroon jacket and a pearl necklace. I see that you're getting to know Naruto, Shizune, Tsunade said as she saw her apprentice. Oh, Tsunade-sama, did you get Naruto's custody? Shizune asked, smiling at her. More or less, Tsunade replied. More or less? What does that mean? I got joint custody of Jiraiya over there, Tsunade said as she motioned to her fellow Sanin. We'll be living together. We will be living together from now onwards. Oh, you're Jiraiya-sama, the teen girl asked. I'm glad to meet you. Tsunade-sama told me a lot about you. Shizune! Tsunade roared, or shouted, sorry. Really? That's nice to hear. What exactly did she say about me? Jiraiya asked with a perverted grin. Wipe that grin off your face, you pervert. The first thing we're going to do once we settle is to establish a series of rules to make sure we have a tolerable coexistence. You got that? Of course, Hime. You'd have you know I'd hate to do something to get on your bad side. That's good to hear. So shall we move to Minato's old house already? Someone texted me on Google Hangouts. Okay. That's good to hear. So shall we move to Minato's old house already? Actually, I don't think that's a good idea. Shurizen intervened. Come again? You see, Minato had a lot of enemies that would love to get revenge on him through the sun, and I believe we should keep Naruto's existence as well as his parentage and his condition as a Jinchuriki a secret outside the Konoha walls. That's why I think we should sell all of Minato and Kushina's properties and use that money to buy a house for the four of you to live in. Also, I think that we should give Naruto his mother's last name instead. But Sensei, Naruto has the right to know who his parents are. We'd make a disservice to Minato and Kushina's memory, Jiraiya calmly protested. I guess you got a point there, Jiraiya. Alright, for the time being, you can tell Naruto that his parents were powerful ninja, who died the night of the Kyuubi attack, but keep their names a secret for his time going. Same goes for the Kyuubi. Sorry, Sensei, but I have to disagree there as well. You can't simply keep such a thing a secret from him, especially since the rest of the village knows about it already. Jiraiya protested once again. It's for his own protection. How being ignorant to the incredibly dangerous being inside of him is going to protect him exactly? Jiraiya Bowser tied his skepticism. Listen, I want Naruto to have a normal life. That's what his parents would have wanted. Naruto carries a heavy burden on his shoulders, but he shouldn't be aware of it yet. That's why I'm going to enact a few laws in order to forbid the Kyuubi from ever being mentioned by either ninjas or civilians, under penalty of immediate execution. Let me tell you why that's a monumentally stupid idea, Jiraiya replied. Sorry, Toby couldn't help but feel outraged at Jiraiya's bluntness. Your solution amounts to ignore the Kyuubi. We can't ignore it, but that won't make the Kyuubi disappear. Or no, we can ignore it, but that won't make the QB disappear. And everyone else knows that. Forbidding people from talking about the QB might protect Naruto to some extent, but it won't make people forget that the QB is still inside him, nor stopping them from seeing Naruto as a bomb ready to go off at any moment. Even if that's true, how can Naruto live a normal life then? Let's face the facts. Such thing is impossible. Naruto won't have a normal life. Tsunade interceded. Both Jiraiya and Sarutobi turned to her in surprise. Not that that's a bad thing, though. Normal doesn't have to mean happy. Jiraiya and I will ensure Naruto's childhood is as fulfilling as possible. Thanks for backing me up, Hime, Jiraiya said, smiling at her. I'm just stating the truth. But if his generation grows up knowing that Naruto carries the demon fox, it might alter their perception of him and they will judge him unfairly. It will be nearly impossible for him to make friends, Sarutobi interjected once again. Tell me, Sensei, do you think anybody would let their children near Naruto knowing what he's holding inside? At the very least, with all the facts, the children will be able to judge Naruto by themselves. And if they're unable to differentiate between the prisoner and its jailer, they are not worth their time, Jiraiya said. You seem very sure of yourself, Jiraiya. Are you sure this won't backfire? I would be lying if I said I was 100% sure, but I do believe this is the best option. Let's have faith that the new generation will accept Naruto and won't judge him unfairly. You've always drilled into our heads the importance of protecting the next generation. If we protect them, then we can place some trust in them, right? Sarutobi spent a few moments silent, pondering Jiraiya's words. A smile slowly crept to his wrinkled face as soon the old ninja was laughing. Much to the students of what the fuck is bemusement? What? I'm just gonna say amusement. To think that I just had one of my teaching used against me. Yeah, guess you've proven your point, Jiraiya. There will be no special laws regarding Naruto. You two will be tasked with his protection and well-being. We'll have faith that Naruto will be accepted among his peers, regardless of his burden. Sarutobi said, "There's only one more thing I'd like to talk about, even if I can guess your answer. Is there a chance that you may rejoin Konoha's ranks again? Besides, besides getting back two of the most powerful ninja Konoha ever produced, Hiruzen was hoping that the return of the Sanin would help boost the incredibly low moral of Konoha citizens. Sorry, but no, I came back here to take care of my only blood family, not to be a killer and relieve painful memories," Tsunade firmly stated. "I'm with her. I left the ninja life behind. I'm a writer now. He'll get involved with Naruto's training once he's old enough. He will he was about to add should Naruto become a ninja, but for somebody like Naruto, that wasn't a choice. He'd have to become a ninja for his own sake. Those Sanin hoped they could convince him to take that path. But think in all the good you could do. Konoha's in its darkest hour. I'll ask you to reconsider," Sarutobi said, almost begging. He knew that if he passed this opportunity, he'd never have the chance to convince them to come back to being ninjas again. "Here's my counter proposal. I'll take a job at the Konoha hospital, and I'm willing to even train future medicmen, but I'm never going back to the battlefield," Tsunade said. "Let me get some water." walk like for not. Alright. Damn, this water is busting. Okay. She doesn't seem to agree with her terms. He then turned to Jiraiya. Now that Tsunade has made a concussion, whatever that means, I'll just take conclusion. He'll have to do one as well. If there's a mission that absolutely nobody else can do, you can call me, was the Toad Sage's offer. Also, my spy network is at your service. Good to see that I can count on both of you, even if it's on such terms. Even if it was tragic circumstances that made you return, I'm glad to have you back on Konoha. Toby said in a heartfelt manner. Then that's all settled. When do we move in? Tsunade asked impatient. 3 weeks later. Neither Jiraiya nor Tsunade had much luggage, due to both of them being wanderers, and hoped that they could move to a house to begin their new life. However, it took Naruto's new family some time before they could be settled in. With Minato's money, they bought and remodeled a 2-story house with a yard that had been damaged during the Kyuubi attack. It needed a lot of work before they could live in, such as giving the front a paint job, replacing the broken glasses, fix the plumbing and electricity, and move out on the previous occupants' possessions, who had sadly died during the Kyuubi attack, and were given to their closest relatives. While they worked on the house, they were forced to live in an improvised shelter for other people who had lost their homes to the Kyuubi. Still, after weeks of hard work, they were ready to move in. Jiraiya had called dibs on setting up Naruto's bedroom, despite Tsunade's very loud protest. In the end, she had relented and allowed the Toad Sage. To have his way. The fact that he locked the door and didn't allow anybody to enter until he was done was enough to. What the fuck? Okay, this makes sense. The fact that he locked the door and didn't let anybody enter until he was done was enough to raise an alarm on the blonde's head. As Jiraiya was getting ready to show Tsunade and Shizune Naruto's room, Tsunade couldn't help but have a feeling of overwhelming regret. Alright, there it is, Jiraiya said as he opened the door. Tsunade braced herself for the worst. What do you think? Tsunade had to admit that it wasn't half bad, that it wasn't as bad as she had expected. The original white walls were decorated with murals and beautiful forests and fountains with smiling toads on them. There was a toad-shaped crib in the corner with a few stuffed toads on them, a desk and an empty wardrobe with some toads carved on the door. Jiraiya is obsessed with toads. Where I found the amount of toads excessive, at the very least she had enough taste not to put any poster of a half-naked girl, Tsunade said in approval. Oh, those will come when he gets older, Jiraiya said, and he was suddenly hit by a wave of killing intent coming from Tsunade and her ward. I mean, of course not. I know I can be a pervert, but I do know that there are some things not appropriate for children. Good to hear. They had spent the rest of their day buying food, clothes, especially for Naruto, diapers, and other baby items. By the time they were finished, it was nighttime, and 3 of them were exhausted. Tsunade placed Naruto on his crib and went to sleep alongside Jiraiya and Shizune. While it took no time for Tsunade and Shizune to fall asleep, Jiraiya remained awake. His head asked the same question time after time. Would have been any different if I was? Would it have been any? Sorry, there's like bad grammar in this. They say would have been any different, but I think it should be would it have been any different if I was in the village when the Kyuubi attacked. Based on the details Sarutobi was willing to share of that tragic night, Jiraiya's mind went over and over with the possible scenarios of how the night could have ended if he was there. He spent an hour torturing himself by wondering if he could have been able to save at least one of Naruto's parents. Stop doing that, Jiraiya. You couldn't know something like that would happen. The only thing you can do now is take care of Naruto to the best of your ability. Sanin told himself. He then got up and quietly went to Naruto's bedroom, making sure he didn't make any noise that could awake the other 3 people, or the other 3 people living under that roof. Jiraiya leaned on the crib. He looked at the infant laying there. Hey little guy, how are you doing? Jiraiya asked in a whisper. Naruto shifted in his sleeping seat. Don't worry, I know that you had to go through a lot, but the nightmare is already over. Tsunade, Hime, and I are ready to take care of you, and we will make sure everything will be fine. Jiraiya continued to look at the sleeping baby. Can I tell you a secret? Don't tell Tsunade or Shizune, because they would get really mad if they knew. But I have plans for you. Great plans. Once I'm done with you, you will be the biggest pervert Konoha has ever seen. Haha, I'll teach you everything I know, so no girl will be able to resist your charms. You'll be a legend, only second to yours truly. Oh yeah, and and you'll be a great ninja too. I guess that's important as well. And that is the end of chapter 1. I really hope you guys enjoyed this what if. This is if I remember, it is what if Naruto was the son of Jiraiya and Tsunade. And yes, it is. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to making more of this as it is shorter, therefore my voice will actually survive for chapter. Unlike what's it called? Or yeah, unlike what if Naruto left Konoha for Kirigakure. So I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you guys very, very soon. Goodbye.